Hey kid, get in here. You know how we do it. Get in here and have a seat. The holidays are over, so it's time to get back to business. Now, you doing okay? Of course you are. You're still alive, you're still breathing, and best of all, the Don is here to bless you with another video. How awesome am I? If you've been on this channel long enough, you probably picked up on the fact that I love retro gaming collections. Whether it's plug and play devices like the Legends Ultimate and the Sega Astro City Mini, or gaming compilations like Rare Replay, Capcom Arcade Stadium, and Midway Arcade Treasures, or even the Nintendo Switch Online lineup, there are few things I like better than packs of retro games. It's even better when you put them in a package with extras, make it cheap, and add on some quality of life upgrades. Now I know there are people who will clown me for paying for retro games when I could be playing them on a Raspberry Pi or something, and yes, sometimes the better option, or even the only option, is to sail the 7 seas. Game preservation is a big thing in this shift toward digital distribution. If game companies are willing to make classic titles available in a reasonable and affordable manner, gamers will have no problem paying for them. And collections such as these can go a long way toward helping a new generation of gamers discover the old classics of the past. One recent collection I looked at, well, if by recent you mean a little over a year ago, is the IGS Classic Arcade Collection. This was a collection of games that ran on the Polygame Master System, which was released on the Nintendo Switch. While I enjoyed the collection for the most part, I felt it was a bit overpriced, it lacked variety, and didn't have any supplemental material. Now this brings me to another collection I recently grabbed, the Visco Collection. Like the IGS Collection, this is another collection of obscure games from an obscure publisher, this time being Visco Corporation. Visco Corporation was a little-known Japanese game company that was formed in 1982 by Tetsuo Akiyama that made games for the arcade, the NES, and the Super Nintendo. They would be one of the few third-party developers for the Neo Geo as well. Among their games are the arcade shooters Ashra Blaster and Galmeds, along the NES action RPG Cowboy Kid, and the Neo Geo games Flipshot and Bangbead. They also developed Bang Bang Brothers, which was also on the Neo Geo platform, though this game wouldn't see a release until 2011 when it came to the Neo Geo MVS, with a Neo Geo CD port coming the next year. The game would also hit the Dreamcast in 2018, and yes, you heard that correct. This game came to 3 consoles that had been sunset years, and in some cases, decades prior. The company would also work with Taito for a brief period of time, with a few of their titles even being published by the company. Taito wasn't the only publisher they had a relationship with either. Alongside Seta and Sammy, they would create their own short-lived arcade platform, the SSV Arcade. Several titles will be made that utilize the arcade board, including the infamous Survival Arts. In 2008, Visco would exit the gaming market, instead choosing to manufacture slot machines that would be used throughout the Southeast Asian market. Maybe one day I'll do a complete story on them, along the SSV arcade board. That's another one for my backlog. And I just remembered I still owe you guys a video about the IGS Polygame board. But that's another topic for another time. Anyway, Cubite Interactive, who seem to be in competition with Pico Interactive to snatch up as many lesser-known retro games as possible, would put out a collection of Visco Corporation's games. This collection contains 7 of their Neo Geo games. It would come to PC along with every major console. I grabbed it for Nintendo Switch because that's my go-to platform for retro games. Still, I imagine that you'll have the same experience regardless of what platform you purchase the game on. Andro Dunos is a horizontal shooter that originally came out in 1992. Other than its unique weapon system, where you switch between 4 different weapons and can power them up individually, there's not much specific about the game that helps it stand out. Still, that's not to say it's a bad game. It's not bad at all. It's got great graphics, great music, and solid gameplay. It's more so the fact that there are so many other great shooters that came out around that same time. So if you're a fan of the genre, then you can always do worse. On a side note, Andro Dunos will receive a sequel in 2022. The sequel was developed by Pico Reen Soft and published by Pixel Heart. It's available on PC, Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and even Sega Dreamcast. Now what I like about this sequel is that instead of adopting some modernized art style, it actually looks like a game that would have came out in 1992. Normally the game will run you $18, so you might want to wait till it goes on sale if you want to play this game. Flipshot is a 1998 Neo Geo game, which is basically a version of air hockey. Playing as one of several characters, you use a shield to knock a ball back and forth, trying to destroy a wall of stars that's behind your opponent. Once that wall is destroyed, you can then try to slip it past your opponent to get the goal. Bangbead, released in 2000, is the sequel to Flipshot. This time, the game does away with the shields, so now you have to manually deflect the ball. There are additional characters to play as, and the game feels more like Windjammers than Flipshot did. Matter of fact, I'm surprised that these two games don't have more of a following, given how popular that Windjammers was. Goal, Goal, Goal is a soccer game that hit the Neo Geo in 1995. I didn't play too many soccer games from around this period, but from what I played, the gameplay is pretty solid. You got 28 teams to pick from, each having their own differences in stats, and you have 7 matches to get through to win the World Cup. The game is pretty fun and has got that arcade sports feel to it. While it's not quite as insane as, say, NBA Jam, it's the type of game that could appeal to players who aren't necessarily sports fans. It's always satisfying to knock down an opposing player, steal the ball, and charge up your shot to score that winning goal. Again, I need to point out that I'm not necessarily a hardcore soccer fan, so I really don't have a frame of reference as to how good this game is compared to other arcade soccer games around this period. Still, if anything, if you like arcade soccer and you don't need anything that deep, I would definitely check it out. Neo Drift Out, released in 1996, is a racing game that's done in an isometric view. You pick one of 3 cars and you make your way through 7 tracks. The goal here is to complete the track as fast as possible, making sure you hit the checkpoints along the way. The difficulty ramps up pretty quickly early on, so you'll be restarting a lot trying to nail that perfect time. Remember, these games were made to suck down quarters, especially back then. There are shortcuts you can discover that can shave off some seconds. Sometimes though, a rival car pulls up just to mess with you, and its only purpose seems to be to bump into you and cause you to waste time. One helpful thing that the game does is let you know when a turn is coming up, so that's always a help since you can't see the track obviously. This would be the Dark Souls of 2D racing games. Okay, not exactly, but you will find yourself trying over and over again. Now while the game is challenging, it's challenging in the way that it makes you want to try again and again to improve yourself, rather than make you frustrated and throw your controller against the wall. Captain Tomaday from 1999 is a vertical shooter that kinda reminds me of Konami's Twin Bee with its cartoonish vibe. Playing as the title character, a mutated tomato, you set out to stop an alien invasion. Both your arm cannons can be fired individually, and you collect power-ups that transform you into one of several forms. Beside the cartoonish theme, there isn't anything that stands out about the game, but the gameplay is on point and the graphics are bright and colorful. So if you like comedy shoot 'em up games like Parodius, then check this one out. Finally, you have Ganryu, which was released in 1999. Ganryu is a hack and slash samurai platformer. Playing as one of 2 characters, you set out to rescue your girlfriend from a clan of evil ninjas. If you like games like The Legend of Kage and Shinobi, you love this one, even the controls do feel a bit stiff. Like with Andro Dunos, this also got a sequel from Pixel Heart, which was developed by Storybird Studio. This game is also available for $18, so again, you might want to wait for this to go on sale. You got standard features such as save states, CRT filters, and border art. Some of the games even have online play. Still, I would have liked to have seen something like concept art, interviews, or just anything that would have given some insight into the development of these games. That was my biggest complaint with the IGS collection. Still, the presentation here is better than the IGS collection, and at the least, each game comes with a manual that tells you what you need to know about playing the game. One huge unfortunate omission is the ability to adjust the difficulty. This was a feature that even the IGS collection had. All the games are stuck at mid-level 4 difficulty, and at times it's either too easy or too difficult. Here's hoping the devs decide to patch it in at some point, but considering the game came out over a year ago, I wouldn't hold my breath. So let's give this one a grade. I think I'll give it a C average. There's not a lot of supplemental material, and I feel like they could have put in more titles. Also, there's no way to adjust the difficulty, and that's a particularly glaring omission. Still, what's here is impressive, and it's a great intro to Visco Corporation and their games. Plus, the $20 price tag is pretty reasonable. Going forward, I hope publishers put out more collections from these obscure gaming companies. It's great discovering new games, even at my age. Even being into gaming for as long as I've been, there's still a lot to discover. Alright Gambinos, I want you to listen up because the Don's got a special hookup for you guys. If you play games on Steam and you want to get the Visco Collection, you can pick it up from Fanatical and you can save a few bucks on it. All you gotta do is use my affiliate link, which is in the description, and you can use the coupon listed on the page to save 15% on it. If you're into retro games, they got other retro collections available too. For instance, there's the Oddworld Complete Collection, which is a bundle of 6 Oddworld games for only $1. This includes classics such as Abe's Odyssey and Stranger's Wrath. If you're into arcade games, Capcom's got you. You can save on the Capcom Fighting Collection, the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, and both installments of Capcom Arcade Stadium. These collections contain tons of great titles, including some rarities you probably never heard of before. Speaking of Capcom, Fanatical is running a special deal where you can save on Monster Hunter World, Rise, their expansions, and their downloadable content, just in time for the upcoming Monster Hunter Wilds. These are some of Capcom's biggest selling games ever, so if you want to dive into this series, now's the perfect time to do so. Fanatical is a legitimate authorized Steam key reseller. They're not a third-party marketplace like G2A, so you don't have to worry about piracy or scams. These keys are good anywhere. So if you want to get some great PC games and save some money while you're at it, again, my affiliate link is below. Tell them the Don sent you. So that was the Visco Collection. If you made it this far, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to the comment section. And those of you who have heard of Visco before watching the video, I want you to drop the name of a Visco Corp game that you like, or even just one that you heard of. Mine is Breaker's Revenge. For those of you who didn't, I want you to tell me the name of your favorite old school video game developer. Mine is Capcom. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I did making it. For those of you new to the channel, I like to cover indie games, retro games, and game-related tech. I do everything from unboxings, to previews, to documentaries, to lists, and even reviews just like the one you just finished watching. If that sounds good to you and you want to join the Mafia, hit that big red subscribe button and the Don's gonna make you a made man. Matter of fact, you can do me one better. If you hit the bell icon, then whenever I drop a new video, you can be the first to watch. Also, if you enjoyed the video, and I'm pretty sure you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon. And make sure you share to let your friends know about it. And if you feel like it, you can go to the comments and let me know what you think. And if you want to reach out to me on social media, my link tree is in the description. So anyway, I mentioned the IGS collection a few times during the video. This is a collection of 8 games from IGS that ran on their Polygame Master arcade platform. While the games are of decent quality, I felt that it was a bit overpriced while not offering a whole lot of variety compared to similar collections. If you want to learn more about it, the link just popped up on your screen, so check it out. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'm outie 51,000G, y'all.